If you've kept up with the latest news, I'm sure you're familiar with the latest BP oil spill debacle, which has devastated our coast of the Gulf of Mexico. As well, I'm sure you've identified that our government has done very little in regards to reprimanding BP. It's time to separate our country from the grasp of big oil and move on. We're all looking for a break at the gas pump, on our electricity bill, or whatever. Nuclear energy is that break from the energy crisis that we suffer each and every day. I'd like to teach you about the benefits which coincide with nuclear power. Fossil fuels are expensive, they're outdated, they're inefficient. Nuclear power, though, is relatively new. Starting in the 1950s, it started to offer us a new technology which could give us cleaner and more efficient source of energy. As well, now, today in the 21st century, could separate us from the United States craving for petroleum products. Beginning with the fear that we held of nuclear technology today, the fear of nuclear technology today, where we have them powering our homes, nuclear technology is abundant and becoming more and more safe. Unfortunately, nuclear technology began in fear. Hiroshima was the first use of this technology as it was used as a military weapon. It bombed the Japanese city at the end of World War II, leaving hundreds of thousands dead. As well, thousands more were killed by the poison of the radiation. Estimates of additional deaths by the end of the war from injury and burns and radiation poison ranging as high as 100,000, quoted by Jeffries John W. As well, the Cold War instilled more fear in people when it came to nuclear technology. People feared for their lives as the two countries kept getting more and more bombs and threatening to blow each other up, reaching what some people thought would be a nuclear apocalypse and be the end of the world as we know it. Also, Chernobyl was another very sad accident that occurred with nuclear technology. At the 3 Mile Island of Chernobyl in Ukraine, a nuclear meltdown occurred and it destroyed everything on that island. Plants, people, lots of things, and it presented a very negative idea of nuclear power. After the crisis of the 3 Mile Island, public support for further nuclear power diminished considerably. Cone George Childs. But despite the nostalgic pessimism held by the world on nuclear power, today there are new plights that have been set forth that encourage nuclear power and have made it to be one of the cleanest and safest energy options, despite what some people might believe. Nuclear today, there's been very many advances. Today, nuclear power has moved on from up to its 4th reactor, and even the break from the 2nd to the 3rd reactor was a big enough one already that produced much safer and much cleaner energy. These new plants are intended to be safer and cheaper than Generation 2 designs that have been producing power for decades from today's Science 1. Plants, also, there's much cleaner energy that could be offered by this, unlike petroleum products, which are carbon-based and produce lots of CO2 into the environment. Nuclear plants offer much cleaner energy, and pretty much remove any type of carbon emissions. Unfortunately, it produces toxic waste, which must be stored in a special location. But steps towards the use of controlled nuclear fusion as a clean source, almost limitless source of energy. And this was pretty much a step towards energy that does not have waste when it comes to fusion. And that was quoted by Today's Science. Speaking of fusion, fission's been with us over 50 years, and the next great pinnacle in nuclear technology, any nuclear engineer would be excited to start using fusion. And fusion offers us the most abundant and cleanest energy hypothetically. The possibility of fusion offers us the cleanest, most sustainable energy known to man. It powers It's the sun that helps our plants grow, that we use to get energy right now. But imagine having a sun in your own backyard. It's we could have small suns powering our cars, our houses, and now here in 2010 we are very close to reaching the sustainable fusion through sustainable energy through laser fusion. The use of lasers to produce enough heat and pressure so that a pellet of specially prepared hydrogen will undergo fusion, quote from today's Science 3. Although the world holds fear of nuclear energy dating back to Chernobyl, we can now safely and effectively utilize nuclear power, and allowing us to make cleaner fission, and we are on our way to using fusion with laser fusion. Nuclear power is well on its way to become a staple in American energy. So be prepared, because one day you might have a star powering your car, your house, or your office, but nuclear energy is already giving us another option to nuclear fuel, to petroleum fuels.